The Blood Knight has been data mined to be showing to come to the game as of December. As of 12/13, meaning the 13th of December next month, we should be receiving an update that gives us a countdown to the Blood Knight. Keep in mind, this is speculation because of data mine, but so far, the data miner has been 100% accurate. In order to be able to find the abilities of this, I had to do some digging. I'll put a link to this if you wish to read it in text format. This is Wowhead, and what it is it gives the Blood Knight spell descriptions. This was data mined a while ago from the beta. They took it from the Chinese client files. So again, these abilities are speculation. They could have rebalanced it by now, but let's go ahead and take a look at actually what is coming in terms of abilities. So first and foremost, I did kind of poke through these. It seems like the Blood Knight is going to be sort of an unholy paladin, a type of guy who is melee based, but also has some spells as well. Really like that. Maybe almost like a Death Knight sort of type of thing if you play World of Warcraft. Let's go down and break down the descriptions. So the very first one's really interesting because it has two different abilities built into it. When the target's moving away from you, you're going to dash. When the target's in front of you, you'll launch a barrage. So there's two ways to read this. This is translated from Chinese. It could either mean if their back's towards you and they're moving away from you, you chase them. However, it could also mean if they're moving towards you, you'll attack with a barrage, okay? It could mean that you're constantly locking onto them, almost like a monk who's continually dashing with basic attacks. It could mean that as well. We'll have to see once it actually comes to the game. The stab and smash here is pierce an enemy in front up with a pike and deal damage to it. To throw it to the ground, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and stunning them. So we know that this is going to work with things like Chip of the Stone Flesh, etc. Stuns will be important. And if you actually do pierce somebody, pull them up and then stun them, hopefully that's part of the stun as well. And we'll get additional time where they're locked out, almost like a barbarian with the grab in PvP. The Dark Conduit's cool name for an ability. It shoots multiple veins ahead to link enemies while dealing damage. It pulls enemies in its path towards it while dealing damage. So think sort of like a black hole you throw. It's going to be dealing damage, grabbing them with chains, and then pulling them together. Anything that grabs mobs in a big circle and pulls them together is typically pretty good for PvE nuking, but it also can be quite good depending upon if it's a full loss of control for PvP. We'll have to see when it comes. Bloodsuck here. This is the one I like, okay? I like these draining life type of moves. Continues to drain the life of surrounding enemies, continuously dealing damage and adding a drain effect. So it's continual damage, meaning this will proc things like the 6-piece Grace set. The Grace set is one of the better sets. I particularly like it in PvP, and having a draining effect of healing could be kind of scary if there's a well. Imagine a well that's healing themselves. We already have well barbarians that can be a problem that can't die, but then now imagine that barbarian is just healing, healing, healing. Oh wait, they already do that with the healing on the spin. So we're familiar sort of how this is going to be happening anyway. This one's cool. Bat Troop. The Blood Knight summons a Bat Troop in a certain area for X seconds. While active, you can use the skill again to command the Bat Troop. The Bat Troop will automatically track nearby enemies, inflicts X damage to enemies within range every X seconds. So it's almost like a turret is what it sounds like. It sounds like he's in position, but then you can reposition him over and over again. Sort of like a mage from the Necromancer. It is a summon, so it is going to work off of your summoning shepherds type of set. And we know that, hey, the Blood Knight is now going to be another class that's going to have a summon. So moving on here, we have the Shadow Mask, cool name. And they got a lot of cool names for this guy. He's probably going to be the edgelord out of all of them. It gives you and your allies around a decoy force state. For every 3 regular attacks launched, a decoy will be generated to copy your attacks. Decoy will be interesting because we don't know if the decoy is going to qualify as a summon. If it does, and the decoy copies your attacks every 3, this could be really, really good. This reminds me of a ability from League of Legends called the Rage Blade, where the people that had high attack speed would end up using this. Because what would happen is you need it to happen 3 times. That's a static number 3 times. So what you want is high attack speed so that you get that 3rd attack more often. I would see this move pairing very well with attack speed type of builds and attack speed, reforged stones, etc. Let us continue. The Shadow Spear. Toss a Shadow Spear ahead, dealing damage to all enemies in the path. Long press the skill to charge, increasing the flight distance, range, and damage. So effectively, you're going to have a spear, you're going to hold it and go, charge it back, and then you're going to throw it depending upon the distance. I do believe that these type of things where you have to hold in order to charge them can typically feel pretty bad. There's one of these, for instance, the Necromancer has with the OG bone spikes. Typically, instantaneous is better unless they allow you to move while you're doing it. If you can move while you're holding the spear, it won't be so bad. But if he has to plant his feet in place, I probably won't end up liking this move very much. Let's continue here with the next ability. So here we have the Dark Edge. Man, another, edgelord type of a move name. If the enemy runs away from you, throwing Blood Crush as a ranged attack. If the enemy is near you, use Blood Blade as a melee attack. So I think they have multiple of these, it seems, that will allow you to attack somebody both at range and close. Again, kind of reminding me of like a Unholy Paladin, sort of a min-maxing of like the Unholy type of Death Knight where you could like pull people to you, etc. I like it when they mix the ranges. Sorry, I got the hiccups all of a sudden, come out of nowhere. I like it when you have mixed ranges in classes, personally, because it's very, very frustrating right now for the melee classes. The only class that doesn't feel as frustrating for me that's melee is Monk, because you have lots of ways to dash in and get on top of people. That's how Monk deals with the range issue. It looks like they're dealing with the range issue on the Blood Knight by just having them both be able to have ranged and melee-based attacks. Kind of smart way of doing it. We'll have to see. Rotary Sweep. Sweep attacks the enemies by rotating the spear 3 times, dealing up to a number of damage to nearby targets. You can move while attacking. So this is sort of kind of like a whirlwind, I think is probably a good way to pair this, like a barbarian whirlwind. Doesn't look anything too crazy. We have the black fogs. Your body releases a black fog that lingers for X seconds, affecting nearby opponents. Okay, so you have like an AoE poison. Monsters in the black fog are charmed to attack other monsters. Wow, that is going to be very good in challenge rifts. Opponents in the black fog cannot use smart cast. So I don't know if smart cast is, this is again Chinese translation, this could mean this is sort of like the new wizard helmet that makes it where it's not able for them to cast abilities. If so, this is actually an absolutely insane, I mean, this is a really cool move, and I could see this definitely being really strong in challenge rifts. The Blood Knight might have some of the coolest moves I've seen in the game. So let's move on to the next one here. The Blood Demon. Gain evil blood when killing an enemy. When you have enough of it, you may cast the skill and turn the Blood Demon for X seconds. Okay, so it's like a rage bar. You're gonna fill up a bar, and then you're gonna cast it, and then you're gonna convert into a Blood Demon. I think Metamorphosis from World of Warcraft, sort of, with your demon, or it's basically a rage bar, I suppose, or like Lost Ark with the Berserker. You fill the Berserker, and then you can use his Berserk ability. So here we go, last one, Blood Demon Blood Strike. So I think because it says Blood Demon Blood Strike, this means when you're in the Blood Demon mode, this is the ability you get, and strike a blood wave forward, inflicting damage on its path while knocking them away. Okay, the knocking away is good, because when you become a Blood Demon, if you're just spamming this one ability, you can continually knock away people. I'm again thinking challenge rifts could be pretty good. If the knockback affects players as well, this could be pretty good. Some of the images for the Blood Knight show him as nothing but bald. Hopefully we can put some hair on him, because your boy absolutely is not bald, and if I can add some red hair on him, I think I'm going to. Honestly, if this kit is accurate, which again, it's a data mine and it's from the Chinese side of things, so we gotta wait for the accurate translation. It could be retuned, etc. Disclaimers aside, though, the abilities look pretty cool. I will absolutely be trying this class when it comes out, if it comes out, but it looks like we're looking at a mid-December launch for this guy. Consider liking the video, subscribing if you want to, and if I've earned it, or else don't worry about it. Love y'all, and I'll see you on the next Diablo Immortal video.